What is up, guys? It's your boy Day 1 Alpha Veteran Kakis, and today it is the 10th anniversary of Destiny. That's right, 10 years ago today, Destiny 1 officially launched. And so, to mark this occasion, Bungie has released a bunch of articles laying out their plans for the future of Destiny 2 going into 2025 and beyond. And so, let's get started. So, the first main article that was released is called Paving the Way for New Frontiers. Remember that Codename Frontiers was the name given for the content coming after the 3 announced episodes. So we're in episode 1 right now, Echoes, then episode 2 is going to launch on October 8th. After that is episode 3, and then we get into like the Codename Frontier stuff. But Bungie broke down Codename Frontiers into much more detail right off the bat with a crazy new image. This is quite a lot of information to start with, but here it is. This is the new Destiny 2 roadmap. It has been a while since we got a proper roadmap, but I'm really glad to see Bungie bring it back today. So, as you can see right here, in summer 2025, we have a new expansion with the codename Apollo. Now, you also see below that there is a season available to all players. In the summer, alongside Codename Apollo, we have a major update, Codename Arsenal, and then later on in fall 2025, we have another major update, Codename Surge. Now, this is going to lead into winter 2025, where we have another new expansion, codenamed Behemoth, and alongside that, we have the winter 2025 major update. Later on in spring 2026, we have yet another major update. So already, there are some big changes with this new model compared to the old content model. In the past, we would have one big expansion, which would launch alongside a season, and then we would have 2 more seasons for 3 seasons total, and then that would lead into another big expansion. Now, it looks like we are getting 2 different expansions, but we only have 2 seasons. Like you can see, even though there's going to be 2 major updates within that season, there is still only 1 season like after that expansion until the next expansion. Additionally, on the left side of this roadmap, we have a legend detailing what content is actually arriving. So for expansions, we get new stories, new locations, new missions, new weapons, new gear, new raids, and dungeons. So that last part, guaranteed 2 new raids throughout the year. That's actually not bad. Then for the seasonal update, we get new and reprised activities, new gear and artifact mods, new modifiers and challenges, new sandbox meta, and new events. Then you have the reward pass, which is going to launch alongside each one of these major updates, so 4 times a year. They're going to have exotic weapon and ornament, legendary weapon and armor ornaments, gear, upgrade resources, cosmetics, and more. So, Bungie goes into even further detail below this new roadmap. So they say 2 expansions a year, 4 major updates, for free content every year. This is actually really important. So they say over the next few months, we'll be sharing more info with you on Codename Frontiers, which is how we are describing major innovations coming to Destiny over the next years, starting with our next expansion, Codename Apollo. We have several dev insight deep dives going live today that will continue to add more to this list over the weeks and months to come. Today, we also have Tyson Green, the new game director for Destiny 2, and Allison Lurs, the Destiny 2 narrative director, diving through some of our future plans for Destiny 2. Our goal is to be more transparent in our communications with you. This means sharing our work more frequently, even if you see our mistakes and false starts along the way. So please remember that our roadmap and plans are subject to change as we get deeper into development. Now moving on, they say our vision for the future of Destiny 2, and they have this piece of concept art. I've never seen this before, so this might be brand new. Editor Kakis coming in here, it is absolutely a piece of new concept art because the file name is Frontiers, so there you go. And this is coming from Tyson Green. So he says, "My name is Tyson Green. I'm the game director for Destiny 2, and I'm excited to speak to you today about our team's vision for Destiny. First and foremost, we still love Destiny. It's a unique and challenging game, both for you and for us. I've personally been working on Destiny for 15 years, and it still excites me creatively. There are not many games I could say that about. But at the same time, we recognize that it has become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Seasons and episodes keep getting bigger, but can still feel like you are just going through the motions. We believe it's time for Destiny to change and evolve, and that our community wants this game to grow and innovate too. And to do that, we need to start breaking some of the molds." All right, I'm listening. Moving on, they talk about annual expansions. So we're going to start with annual expansions. We've loved creating annual expansions and are especially proud of the final shape. But the truth is that they dominate almost all of our development effort. We need to free ourselves up to explore and innovate with how we deliver Destiny 2 content so we can invest in areas of the game that feel more impactful to players. Starting next year, instead of one big expansion, we are going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions, one every 6 months. Each of these will depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using essentially unchanged since Shadowkeep, and each will be an opportunity to explore exciting new formats instead. We are excited to try new things that challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. We are actively prototyping non-linear campaigns, exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or Metrovidians, and even more unusual formats like roguelike or survival shooters. Each expansion will present a new opportunity to try something different. Departing from one-shot campaigns doesn't mean we are turning away from great storytelling. Going forward, we want to return the mystery and the wonder that was woven into the fabric of early Destiny, when the story felt ripe with possibilities and an epic sense of exploration and discovery. Great stories are important as ever in our creative vision, and Allison will touch on that more below. So let's pause right there. That's crazy. Like, some of the sentences I just read there were a roguelike or survival shooter version of Destiny 2, an expansion based on those things. That could be really, really crazy. And you know, I was having a conversation just last night with someone when I was playing Black Ops 6, getting absolutely my ankles broken by all the Zoomers diving around. I was saying, you know, Lightfall, players didn't really like Lightfall. Think of how many resources went into the Lightfall campaign, how many perfectly crafted and rendered cutscenes that people just made fun of, right? Imagine if those resources were spent on activities, replayability, gear, stuff like that. So I think this honestly could be a good thing, getting away from those, like, again, very linear story experiences where you kind of just blast through once and then they lack replayability. Now Bungie has been doing a better job with replayability. So, man, we're talking about some crazy stuff. Like, I really didn't expect them to say we might be going roguelike with certain expansions. That really gives me pause and kind of gets me a bit excited. Moving on from there, they talk about seasons. So with the change of 2 expansions per year, our seasonal model will be changing as well. Instead of 3 episodes, we will be building 4 major updates per year, one every 3 months. Each expansion will launch alongside a major update at the start of the season, and then a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including, so for activities, strikes, exotic missions, or entirely new modes like Onslaught. For the rewards, you're going to have weapons, armor, artifact mods, exotics, and more. There's going to be new weekly events, new features, and combat meta and balance updates. They say the big seasonal resets will still happen, but now twice a year alongside expansions. Each update will be a substantial refresh of the core game, bringing new activities and reward content. We're also excited to announce that, like Destiny 2 Into the Light, these updates and their content will be free to all players. We want Destiny 2 to be easier for anyone to play or recommend, so we want to remove some of that major barrier to the experience, which means we need to talk about the core game itself. So already right off the rip, no more paid seasons. You're going to have free updates. Again, Into the Light was a banger. Into the Light was actually really fun. A lot of people were playing for that. So that's another great thing, right? Like now you can say, hey, hop on the game. I haven't played for a while. Don't worry, this update's free. That is a pretty big selling point to people who haven't played in a while. So interested to see how that plays out too. Now, moving on from there, we get into the core game, and the first topic is approachability, with Bungie saying, first, Destiny is too complex. With literally hundreds of activities, you practically need a PhD to decide what to play and how to get rewards you're looking for. We're going to start to fix this by modernizing our activity UI, the director, to make it easier for everyone to find and launch into great activities. And we're reworking our reward model to make sure that all of those activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dives into activities and rewards will get into more detail into these changes in particular. Now, the next topic is gear and challenge should matter. Even great activities stop mattering if the challenge dries up and the rewards aren't worth it. So we're investing in a greatly improved challenge customization system to let players of any skill range find the right challenge level for them, with rewards that improve based on the challenge level you take on. These won't just be simple incoming damage increases either. The team is cooking up some great gameplay modifiers that give enemies some exciting tools to mix things up on every run. We will have a deep dive coming soon to show off some of these new threats. As for rewards, they will be higher tiers of legendary gear. Think Adept and Artifice armor that will be available from these higher challenge ranges in a much wider variety of activities across both PvE and PvP. These two changes will help the core game experience be easier to drop into and much deeper in terms of variety and pursuit of personal mastery. And they are a starting point for ongoing changes aimed at continuing to improve Destiny in these regards. Very interesting, especially, more tiers of legendary. So Adept and then Mega Adept, Super Adept. Really gonna have to wait and see, but could be very interesting. Could honestly just be annoying. If they're gonna introduce even more tiers of stuff, we're gonna need a massive vault space overhaul, guys. My goodness. Now, moving on from there, things get really interesting because Bungie unveils some new information about the next upcoming expansion, Codename Apollo. Now, this is coming from Allison Lurs, who says, "Hello, I'm Allison, and I'm the Destiny 2 narrative director. I'm a fresh face at Bungie. I started doing narrative direction for seasons in fall 2022, and my first D2 expansion was the Final Shape. We're proud of the Final Shape and the ending we created for the Light and Darkness saga, and we knew that the episodes that would follow would act as an epilogue, tying up the Light and the Dark's hanging threads, but also setting up for what's next. The episodes close doors and open new ones, purposeful ones, storylines that are set in place to prepare us for what comes next. And what is next is our new saga." And then they provide this new concept art. So it shows what looks like a boat, almost this looks like undersea on Titan, but then we have these new floating objects, alien objects that I really have not seen before. Now she continues, "You'll see teases of it in the later 2 episodes, and then fully kick off with Codename Apollo. This next saga is also based around a core theme, much like the Light and the Darkness did. It will introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists, and more. There's a lot more here that we will say eventually, but we don't want to spoil the journey for you. This will be a multi-year journey, one we can't wait to take you on." They say our first expansion, Codename Apollo, is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. And they expand on that. They say, what do you mean by Codename Apollo is non-linear? They say previously, in stories like The Final Shape, You experience the story as A to B to C to D in a nice straight line. In Codename Apollo, our story takes place over dozens of threads you'll explore and discover. So when you land on our brand new location, the story starts at A, and then you can choose if you want to explore C first, or try to get into B, or maybe investigate D. And the options you don't choose, well, don't worry. Those other options are still open for you to go back and play through. You'll need to. Because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses. So experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something you choose, but we have built Codename Apollo in a way that the story makes sense and flows from a beginning to a middle to an end. There's no time gating, no waiting for the next drop. Codename Apollo's story unfolds based on player progression. And then they provide another brand new screenshot, concept art, I should say, right here. Another alien background, alien location, another kind of crashed ship, and then those same weird alien floating objects that we saw earlier. So this is really interesting, like a new non-linear story direction. This could be really sweet. You don't just have to power through the campaign, you can experience it how you want to experience it. And there's many games that do this quite well. So like, would this work in Destiny? Well, the good thing is that if it doesn't, Bungie can change. Like, it's actually kind of nice. I would rather them try something new and it doesn't work out and then move on than never try something new. And Bungie continues from there saying, Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. Amen. This shift to non-linear stories isn't something we're locking ourselves into, but is the structure that fits Codename Apollo best. The narrative structure of the releases that follow will be quite different, a structure to suit that game's experience, and we want to continue to innovate with each expansion across both gameplay and narrative. Again, that's good. I'm loving the innovation here. And they're going to end here with Into the Unknown. This all sounds like a big change, and it is, because when the rhythm of our story becomes predictable, or when characters and our world fail to change, that's how we create a situation, not a story. So how can we innovate? By telling a story that keeps up with our innovation, not one that slows it down. That means an evolving world, giving space for new characters, growing and evolving factions, making sure the story we tell is in a world we have nurtured, and with characters who grow in turn. We believe in rewarding the player for paying attention without punishing someone for not knowing something. That way, everyone gets to come along for the ride no matter how deep in the lore they are. You'll see that approach starting with episodes and continuing into the multi-year story. So, when we think about a multi-year arc, what does that look like? Think of it as a constellation of stories united by a single theme. We will show you what that theme is later, but suffice to say, we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web, not a line. Each release fits into the larger saga. We can't wait to take you on that journey. Story is easy to spoil, so I won't ruin the details for what the theme in Codename Apollo is or what it's about, but I will give you something to look forward to. Apollo ends with the narrative gasoline that will propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, goal, and a destination that won't come at you as a straight line, but will be well worth the trip. It'll reward you, surprise you, and it'll take us places Destiny has never seen before. See you when the time is right. Now, continuing from there, let's talk about one of those supplemental articles they mentioned, which was the portal, which is essentially the new destination map. There's actually 3 supplemental articles. If I went over all of them in this video, it would be like an hour long, so I think I'm going to make a second video going over all of the changes to activities and gear, but the portal is very interesting here. So they say, TLDR, the portal will offer several categories of activities, each with a wide selection of new and updated activities, refreshing every 3 months with each major update. All activities in the portal will provide updated and worthwhile rewards, so it will be easy to find something to play. The destination map will be cleaned up and focus on world navigation and accessing older activities. So the problem is just, the destination map is super cluttered. No one knows what to do. Here's the solution. So this is the new portal screen. So you can see right here, obviously we have some template like background and stuff like that, but we have solo ops, fireteam ops, pinnacle ops, crucible, and an ongoing event. You can go to the tower, the most recent major expansion, Apollo, like that new location, as well as some upcoming expansion, like just going over what's coming next in the game. So definitely more clean, but they do say this is an early mock-up that's subject to change. The emphasis of this redesign is quick and clean access to a wider offering of activities with updated rewards, as well as quick access to the current expansion or event content. Activities will be grouped into categories, more on those below, that will expand to present up to a dozen activities each. Every activity available to launch from the portal will feature updated rewards every season and will present a viable path to the highest tiers of weapons and armor available. Our intent is for most activity launching in a season to occur from the portal, and any choice you make will be a path to worthwhile rewards. So then you have the portal categories. So solo ops, they say 1 to 3 player activities requiring very low time or social commitment. These activities are designed for solo players, yet are still fun in a fire team, and they're easy to pick up and play for a quick session. Solo ops will also feature a new activity type, which we'll get into a deep dive soon. Then you have fire team ops. 3 player activities for match-made or pre-made groups designed for fire teams with more cooperation and coordination. These will feature activities like strikes, onslaught, and the coil, and new types in the future. So already super interesting. I would think like the solo stuff is strikes. When I think if I just want to play solo, I hop into strikes, I hop into whatever, because it just makes the group for me. So what is solo ops going to be? Again, they talk about there's going to be a new activity type, like that could be really interesting. Then we have Flashpoint Ops, 6 player activities for match-made or pre-made groups planned for a future season. This category will be introduced later next year. It will feature more chaotic 6 player combat like offensives. Then you have Pinnacle Ops, 3 player activities featuring more challenging content, including dungeons, exotic missions, and full-length onslaughts. Pinnacle Ops have an exclusive reward pool to claim, but success is not guaranteed. And then you have the Crucible, of course, for PvP. They say, in addition to the above categories, the portal also provides direct access to the current expansion activities, as well as any currently running events like Iron Banner or Festival of the Lost. Then they talk about objective streamlining. The portal screen will also host consolidated and streamlined side objectives like bounties or seasonal challenges. That aspect of the redesign is still a work in progress, but the primary goal is to greatly reduce the chores that need to be done before diving into an activity. We will be sharing more about this change later in the year. Then you have bonus rewards. They say every day, several activities in each category will have bonus rewards added to their standing offering. These bonus rewards will include things like specific weapons, specific armor slots, and currencies like enhancement materials or strange coins. The bonus reward is guaranteed from the first daily clear and available at a high drop rate on future clears. So the activities with bonus rewards will be sorted to the top to make it easy to find so that you can quickly scan what's available and decide what is worth chasing. And then you have an FAQ right here that you guys can read. So, man, some pretty big changes, some pretty big announcements. What do you guys think? 2 expansions per year versus 1. Now, Bungie refers to them as medium-sized expansions, so they're not going to be as big as something like the Final Shape, but they're likely to cost a bit less as well. Like, the Bungie pricing has changed over the years. Shadow Keep was like $40 compared to, I think it was like 50, 60 that the Final Shape was. So again, what do you guys think of all of these changes? Personally, we're really gonna have to wait and see, but I am very excited that they're talking about like proper innovation. Bungie has said innovation, but those innovations haven't been that innovative. But when they're talking about survival and roguelike style mechanics, non-linear story, finally, this is something truly that's going to make this expansion feel different. Now, maybe it'll make it feel worse, right? But we won't know until we try it. So I am excited for that. Guys, that is it for the video. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.